We touched on it, but where are you from?
I'm from Milwaukee.
Born and raised?
Born in Oklahoma, but then 3 days later, shipped on up to Milwaukee.
Why was that?
I'm adopted.
Crazy.
So my birth family was from Ardmore, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And then everything was pretty much set by the time I was born. In terms of me being adopted by the family I was raised by.
Do you know your biological family?
I do not.
Not at all.
I know about them. This could take up the whole podcast if you want.
If you want to talk about it, I mean, it's part of you. Yeah, let's do it.
I know a little bit. I know that I have 2 half brothers. I've seen one of their faces. The big thing I'll say is like this used to not bother me, but eat away at me. I guess I think a lot of people who are adopted, like especially as kids, one issue they deal with is like, why? Why'd my mom give me up? And then eventually, like as I learned more about my origins, my origin story, or my birth family, I sort of came to be very thankful for the opportunities I was given, with my adopted family. And I say my adopted family, but they've been my parents since I was 3 days old. So
what was the reasoning?
I think they just couldn't afford me.
Interesting.
And the reason that I've been in touch through indirect channels with my birth mother.
Yeah.
And been like, hey, I'd like to meet. And the answer that came back was,
Wow, because, from her specifically?
Yeah, it was. Wow. That's because she kept me a secret.
Oh, wow.
So she already had 1 kid when I was born.
Wow.
So when she was pregnant with me, it was kind of like she almost didn't want to cop to it.
Right.
But her friend's friend was my dad's cousin, and my dad and mom's whole family knew that they couldn't have kids and they were looking to adopt. So my cousin kind of connected the dots.
Oh, wow.
Or my dad's cousin kind of connected the dots.
Wait, did your dad's cousin connected you to your adopted family?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Interesting. So when you wanted to find out information about them, did your adopted parents want that? Did they support you in that? Or was it?
Sort of. Yeah. I mean, to a point. You know what I mean? It was higher. I looking back, when I turned 18, they told me a bunch of stuff, like my mother's name, 2 brothers, my mom's situation, which was she was 20 years old, pregnant with me, and like living in a motel room, and I think my parents helped pay for that, like in poverty, basically.
Yeah.
And so they told me a lot of that when I was 18. But like the other thing was, and what I've come to slowly realize just from doing a little research on my own is like, they understood like, oh, he's probably going to want to meet his mom. But the other thing is like, it might not be a great idea.
Sure, yeah.
And also, you don't know what opening those doors like
lead to. Yeah.
Yeah.
At what age were you? Go ahead.
I don't know this for sure, but I suspect that my mother is like likes to drink.
Yeah. It's definitely a possibility in Oklahoma.
Yeah. But like crazily enough, like I did 23andMe, that DNA.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever heard of that? It's like a thing you can like spit in a test tube, and then they tell you a little bit about your genealogy. And I did it mostly to figure out like what diseases I was susceptible to, and maybe like what my heritage was.
Okay.
But I found out I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know it was like I'm Irish. I didn't know that until 2 years ago.
Wow. What age were you when you found out you were adopted?
I always knew.
You always knew.
So yeah, the way that my parents did it was they. Before I went to bed, they would tell me the same story every night, which sounds so corny. But I never had that moment where it was like, what? It was like I always knew I was adopted and that they were thankful.
What was the story? Just in relation to you being picked up by them?
Kind of, yeah. It was like, I mean, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but it was just something along the lines of, we couldn't have children. Your mother had you and she couldn't support you, so God answered our prayers and we connected the two, and then... and here you are.
So they were very honest and forthcoming with you.
I think they did a lot of reading about it. And if I ever, if anyone ever asked me, like, how do I tell my kid, I think that's probably the way to go. Because I never had a moment where I was like, never thought my parents had lied to me, and I'd always had it told me from the perspective of like, hey, it's a good thing.
Totally.
Lucky. Yeah.
Did you
probably good if you kidnap a baby. Maybe maybe that's useful to kidnappers somewhere.
Did you ever know about Santa? Did you ever believe in Santa?
Yeah. What do you mean?
I don't know. It just seems like your parents were very honest with you and didn't want to lie to you. So I didn't know if they like gave you the Santa spiel.
Oh, they gave me the Santa spiel, the Tooth Fairy spiel.
Oh, those bastards.
Yeah.
That's funny.